And I ran so far away.
Hey everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of Cue the Review. I know we were on a small hiatus.
A little bit.
We're back. We're back in the game. As you can tell, it's a new place. It's my new place. Our brand new Cue the Review studio production.
Professional.
Yes, as you can tell with our nice chewed up couch. But yes, what are we going to be reviewing today?
Oh man, I want to dye my hair now. We're going atomic blonde.
Oh god.
Just kidding.
Damn.
Not again. Not again.
Yes, from great director David Lynch, who, as you all know, did John Wick, and your ass did not see John Wick until yesterday.
Literally,
you literally gave me an aneurysm when you told me you did not see John Wick.
I had to give him CPR. It's okay, man. We're gonna watch it right now. We're gonna watch it now. It's okay.
And as you all know, too, he's gonna be directing Deadpool 2, and as we go through our review, you'll be seeing the hope or lack of that we have for him in that property. But yeah, is there anything that you've noticed that he directed in any unique way that was not just reminiscent of John Wick? Because I definitely got some vibes out of that.
I was about to say, after literally just saying John Wick,
Yeah.
I got a little bit of it in
Yeah.
there. It wasn't, in terms of the action, close, I can see. It was mostly in the visuals. Just how it looked, I could tell it's him.
It had a very consistent look. You can definitely say that the movie had a very specific style and personality. I felt like the best way to describe it is it was doing a lot of peacocking. You know, where everything is all grainy and dark, but it highlights and accents certain moments with neons and really bright colors.
They like reds and blues a lot. That very classic half look face.
Oh yeah, it's very much 80s like noir kind of.
Right. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That's how I would.
Well, it
describe
makes sense. It's set in the 80s.
Yeah, it is. And to be fair, it could really be set in any time because it does not make... I mean, they have the overall ongoing arc about the Berlin Wall throughout it all. It's segmented in every little chunk of the movie, but it's never...
not important.
Yeah, it doesn't make any kind of connection to the actual plot itself. It doesn't, bring any kind of consequence to what's going on in the movie.
Yeah, and they kind of reference, I'm not sure if they wanted to take it down or not. They didn't really seem to have a clear, definitive reason of why they brought it up, other than the Cold War going on and this fighting everywhere. But that again, like you said, it wasn't important to their story though.
Yeah, exactly. It was just it looked like just they were trying to add the visuals to something that was just already lacking and what they had going on. But you know what? I can definitely say I did like some of the actors here. We have Charlize Theron, or how she actually says it's pronounced, Charlize Theron, as Lorraine here, as the atomic blonde. And I have to give it up. No matter what you thought about her acting and her delivery of her dialogue, she trained her ass off for this movie.
I will give her that. She trained exactly. She trained with Keanu Reeves too, and we all know how much Keanu goes in. Whether you like his work or not, you have to get up to the man. He gives 100,000%.
Oh yeah, he has a very working class vibe about him, which I really appreciate. But here, I mean, she did work her ass off. She trained for I think 3 months for the action scenes. She actually said that she chipped 2 of her teeth for this. So was it worth it? And
the things we do for art.
I know. We also have James McAvoy as. Do you remember the character's name? It was
a forgettable name.
Random East German name.
Well, he had 5 names.
Yeah, that's
because with the story it was
exactly
complicated. We'll say that.
Yeah, well, for the most part. And of course we have the mummy coming back, Sofia Boutella, who, you know what, I feel like it's a little...
French Playboy.
Yeah, exactly. She kind of has a Black Swan kind of thing going on, where it's... The 2 female characters, just because they're hot, have to be together just to bring in more male audiences. And
pretty much.
I'm not going to complain, but that didn't lead anywhere either.
Yeah, that whole sex scene, I was just sitting there why?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at least it led up to a kind of funny-ish point, but they didn't really do much with it during the interview.
There's not enough build-up in a lot of these scenes, I feel. The payoff is minimal.
Yeah, and I mean, for all that we're criticizing, I mean, dude, John Goodman tried his ass off in this movie so much. I know. I was just like, I feel you, man. I wish I could give this movie a better critique, but oh god.
He tried so hard to carry the film and just be like, oh yeah, this is gonna be awesome, and just everything was just crumbling around him, and you can tell he's like, come on, guys. Keep up.
Yeah, no, he's the one that will never phone it in. John Goodman always does his best, no matter in what role he is. But here, dude, they just go out of their way to try and make him boring, dude.
Yeah, even at his payoff at the end was really shitty.
Yeah, exactly. I was hoping because they actually bring this thing where they're interviewing her and she's kind of playing both sides, and she just calls him a cocksucker. Yeah, and it's not until like the last 2 minutes of the movie where he goes, cocksucker? Really? Like, yeah, but it doesn't go anywhere, and that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we're spoiling the shit out of this, but dude, there's not a lot to spoil here.
Like, in terms of
stuff that you like, it would ruin the movie for you. None of it. Not like spoilers here would not ruin the movie.
The trailer is literally the movie.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. The trailer is the movie.
80% of the trailer is 80% of the soundtrack is
in the trailer too. I know.
Yeah.
I have to say though, I appreciated parts of the soundtrack. Like,
I really did like it.
They had some pretty good moments with that.
Yeah, for a movie that's really dark and really just grindingly slow at some points, it really needed that punch up of New Order and Duran Duran throughout, and it really did work for the most part. But I'm gonna tell you right now, my major complaint is that the first and third act are the most entertaining parts of this movie. The whole chunky middle here,
and it's a long middle.
Yes, it is a long fucking middle. It is goddamn boring.
It is.
For some scenes, I just nodded off. And it's just very generic spy thriller kind of stuff going on.
And I can even say, like, there's a lot of build-up because there's not a lot of build-up.
No,
even.
exactly.
Like, that's where you're supposed to have, like, oh, here we go, and then, like, launch you to the third act. But it's pretty flatline. I've never quite been that bored in a film before. Just like, okay, like, wrap it up, move along.
Exactly. We get more John Wick in here. But, it's like I said, it is generic, but even then, like, the little twists and turns that it tries to throw at you are not that consequential to what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, really, like, they'd say, like, oh, this guy's playing both sides. Oh, he was a bad guy all along, and you know, Charlie Theron was in on it the entire time.
There's not enough build-up for you to care.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, even if it was something that built up to it, there's not enough momentum going forward to make you feel like, oh, it's going to lead to something explosive.
Right.
But, yeah, no, it's that second act is horrible. I mean, do you know who wrote this? I mean, for one, we have the director David Leitch, who only directed one movie before.
Right.
So, I mean, for how good John Wick was, I mean, maybe that was like his passion project, and maybe you know, Atomic Blonde wasn't that success he wasn't expecting that now he has to build on, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, and he's also going to do Deadpool 2, so I don't know how to feel about that.
I know, right? Like, oh man, because Deadpool 1 is a lot to like carry on.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's a high fucking check. So.
Yeah, I mean, even with John Wick, which is super serious, it did have a good sense of humor to it,
yeah,
too.
It did, yeah.
But here,
there was no humor.
Yeah, there's nothing that makes you laugh or even, like...
It takes itself too seriously in some parts, especially like, Lorraine. Like, they too heavily rely on her being just straightforward and just really direct and having no emotion. But then it's trying to rely on emotion that it kind of backfires on itself.
Yeah, like you see in the trailer where, I mean, this is in the very beginning of the trailer where they show like, oh, this guy's dead, and yes, do you know him enough to say hello? Which in spy terms means, oh, he was the love of my life, you know?
Yeah.
And here they don't really do anything with it. They just bring it up. We never see her reflect or mourn in any way, shape, or form. We just see her burn the picture of the guy, and then we just move on to whatever her mission is. And let me tell you, man, it's not because I wasn't paying attention, but my lack of interest really got me lost throughout this movie for a lot of it. Yeah, it's just...
There's nothing to get lost in, though.
But that's the thing, though. It's no, because I understand, but there's little details about, like, people, like changing sides and all that stuff, like those little twists.
Well,
that I didn't...
That's not also your fault. They didn't do that very well.
Yeah, it was very weirdly edited.
It was.
That. And it just...
Because they didn't have the setup for it. So by the time got to it, you're like, wait, I mean, you have like brief moments
exactly
where they say it, like especially with the Macklemore character, or whatever.
Yeah, McAvoy, and for how Macklemore, I know, right? So yeah, for how many things are going on at once, it really still feels slow paced.
Yeah, that again, because there's no build up or payoff.
Yeah.
So even though things are developing during it, you're like, okay, so I don't know. Every interest that Lorraine has just doesn't seem dramatic enough. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then even like you were mentioning, like where they're training and everything, and this is John Wick, so you expect some crazy action sequences. So at least like carry on everything. No.
No, I mean no. To be fair, there are 2 action scenes that are amazingly well done.
I'd say 1, but yeah.
Okay, so just to bring over my favorite. So of course, you have all the general action scene, which is filmed very John Wick, as in the camera actually gives her space. You see all this really well done choreography to the actual fight scenes. But the one where I felt was actually really, really effective was when she was basically on that, escort mission, with the guy who's like wounded.
Yeah.
He has a list of why the fuck would he memorize everything, and not have it like on a USB or something.
Oh, I know, right?
And I know it's the 80s, but still. So the guy is wounded and they need him alive. And sure, we have all these action scenes where she's just doing her missions, but I felt that was especially effective because, not only is she going to do her mission, but she's going to be heroic as well, as she's leading the guy through all of this stuff. So that elevated it for me, and I woke up for a second like, oh shit, what's going on? And the next 10 minutes is a one-shot action sequence throughout the entire thing with like no cuts.
Yeah.
And it's really well done, and it's so brutal and
it's really
gory.
brutal and savage.
It is straight up savage, and that was what I wanted throughout the entire movie. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's like one more action scene that I did like from that. The one where she sneaks up into the guy's room.
Oh.
Yeah. That wasn't bad.
Wasn't bad.
Yeah, I was having fun with that.
It was the better of them, but...
Yeah, but I mean, the top one is, of course, the one where she's in the stairwell.
Oh, I know.
Just running all around and
literally
stuff.
the one shot is... Yeah. The flow is great choreography there.
Exactly. Like, I felt like that was like, oh, okay, now you're bringing in that spirit of the John Wick movies, where we have really, really well choreographed and amazing action, but the camera is just following it along. It's not cutting, it's not switching sides so fast, it's just following the action as it progresses.
And I did notice too, one thing that annoyed me with the other action sequences is the choreography was the same. It was just you had the brutality, but I don't know if you noticed, but the guys there'd always be a guy here and a guy here, and she'd just be beating up either with a garden hose, a baton, or her fist. Just boom, 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 ka-choo, and you're like, it's the same thing each fight sequence. I'm like, okay, like you gotta make, like with John Wick, there's a flow to it.
Yeah.
Even though his methods were the same, he's just going along, boom, 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 boom. Her, she's just standing there, taking out these guys. Boom, you're down. Boom, you're down. Boom, you're down. Boom, you're down. Like, it was just kind of systematic, and it just didn't have that flow you're looking for.
I was fine with it. Because, I mean, the overall movie was so boring. I was taking what little it was giving me, man. I was just fair. All right, fine, just give me what you're going to give me, and just let me move on with my life. And may I say, this movie feels like it never ends. I mean, there's like how many endings to this?
3 or 10.
At least. I mean, and I was hoping it would end in every single one of them.
I know. The end was just dreadful.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely felt like John Wick was a passion project for the guy. And who knows, I think John Wick was directed by 2 guys, right? So maybe when the guy left for this one, maybe he was the brains of the organization, So maybe all he had was what he could do with it. But yeah, it's really disappointing, especially for how stylistically and how full of personality that trailer was. Don't get me wrong, this movie has its personality here and there, but it's nothing. It's all visual glare, and you're not really invested in what's going on with the story or the characters.
Yeah, it doesn't have the depth that I was expecting that you saw in the trailer with her character, especially. Yeah. Like, when the main character doesn't really have a lot of writing onto what she's doing, and she doesn't have any real connections with anybody.
Yeah, I mean, and she actually makes a point of that, and like, oh, we're living on this spy life, we're nothing that we say can be true. We can't make connections.
Right, but
everything is a means to an end. So at that point, it's like, well, then how the fuck am I supposed to like
connect to
shit
this?
Yeah, exactly.
Her whole relationship with the freaking French operative was just dumb. Like that, there was no point to that.
Yeah, like I say, it was just like the black swan kind of thing going on. They just needed to bring in the boys, and it worked. But I mean,
well, yeah.
It was not terrible. I mean, Sofia Boutella did what she could, what she was given, but it was a very insignificant role. Like she could have honestly been gone from there and been fine. I mean, sure, they play up a romantic relationship with her and Charlize Theron, but it's not something that you really care about.
No, there's this. Even when it develops later on, it doesn't have like the significance that you would expect it would.
Yeah, exactly. Even when Charlize is saying like, "Oh, I'm just doing this to get information," I'm just like, "Bitch, you
know you do. Yeah, I know. Right?
You want that mummy booty. I don't blame you." But still, it's like it's not going anywhere, and she has a really tragic ending. I would say, for the most part, because at that point I was already like. I mean, halfway through the movie, I was already like, he's McAvoy's the bad guy. I mean,
yeah, I know. Right? The moment you meet him, exactly. He's not a great guy. He's not your daily friend.
Exactly, like this Irish drunk piece of shit. Yeah, he's a bad guy, of course. So it's really not much else I could say about that movie.
I know. There's one question I have is this film, for whatever reason, breaks the fourth wall like
Slightly.
5 times.
Slightly.
With McAvoy.
Yeah. Wasn't that because he was talking to
He's
other
talking
villain?
to Lorraine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
at that end part. And it doesn't
match any of the rest of the movie. It was just
right, because it's only him that does it.
It was just them like trying to be like all brainy and self-aware, but it didn't work because it's not something that you see throughout the movie. It's just that for that one scene where it's leading up to his death, as Charlize finally finds out that he's the bad guy. But it's like you said, it's too little, too late.
Yeah, they should have. Well, they tried to address that because he had it one time when you first meet him.
Yeah,
he does that. I forget what he says, something completely pointless and dumb, but he like addresses the camera.
A lot of things in this movie,
and he's just like, "It's me," and then like moves on, and then he does it one more time at the end, and I'm like,
and it's really disappointing because man, this movie started so energetic.
It did,
and, such an adrenaline pumped, and it went just like a fucking nose.
The soundtrack tries to carry it. As much as it can.
It's just like, not even The Cure could say this.
Yeah.
But it's really disappointing considering where the guy came from. Yeah. Hopefully he doesn't fuck up Deadpool, because goddamn.
That would be bad.
You gotta have some chops if you're gonna bring up Deadpool.
Yeah. So hopefully he has. Yeah, I don't know who wrote this, but I don't know if it was writing or him. Because, I mean, you could see, like, he knows how to make a film. I mean, John Wick was beautifully done. I mean, despite all we're saying, like, it looked good.
And the action looks great.
Yeah, it looked good. Most of the action was decent. It wasn't, I don't know.
One was great. Just one.
The entertainment value just wasn't quite there, and I don't know why.
Even if you don't want to get, like, all philosophical and really, deep into the movie, it really doesn't offer a whole lot. It just, the lowest common denominator of entertainment.
There's just such long draws.
I know.
Between the action sequences.
Oh my god, I felt every inch. Like, can you get the hose again?
And they really carried on, going back to the Lorraine character of just relying too much on her sexuality and everything, and just wasn't moving it forward for me.
I would have been fine with it if they did anything with that, but it's just to, get into that lesbian relationship with Sofia Boutella. Right. It's just to, and she doesn't even like do the whole like coming on to guys kind of thing, where she like and stuff, which would have been more entertaining to like see her use like her sexuality to her advantage, but they don't even do that. It's very straightforward.
It is.
What do you say we get into the ratings?
Let's just dive right into it, man. I was excited for this. I was like legitimately excited about this film. Like, I'm really glad we were gonna watch Emoji Movie. Fuck you guys,
Yeah,
we're not doing it. We're not doing it.
I've been sick. I'm just like finished moving in. I'm fucking up to here and like working homework. My ass, we were gonna watch the Emoji Movie.
Especially Rotten Tomatoes give it a 0%. It's out at 6, but
yeah, I mean, whoa, great progress we got there.
Yeah, I know, right? We're moving up in the world, guys. So yeah, I mean, I was excited to watch this instead. I was kind of let down.
Hell yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, like, didn't give me what I wanted, and at the end of the film, you felt the same way. We're just like, okay,
yeah.
Like I tried to give it as much as I could because it is visually good looking. There is some really good shots, and there's some amazing camera work. Like that action sequence, I'm not lying, that was really, really well done.
Yeah, and to add more to your point, we actually saw this in the Dolby AMC showing, where the colors are a lot more better done. The blacks are blacker, all the colorfuls are a lot more.
They remind you like 5
Yeah,
times.
they make a good point of telling you, like, look at the black on the shitty theater, look at all and
the sound was good.
The sound is great. You feel every punch, every shot. You feel that, but yeah.
But
it would have been great in another movie. But
I know, right? But despite all that, like the visual can't carry it, and Goodman can't carry it.
Yeah, I know, man.
You tried so hard, man. It's okay.
No.
I have to give this a Netflix and chill. A low tier 1. Like if it gets on Netflix, hey, I have an extra. How long was this film? This was 2.5.
Dude, it felt like
or it felt long.
it
could have been an hour, and it felt really long.
Yeah, it drags.
Despite how it looks and the sound being good, because there's like 50 speakers around you, not worth it. Not worth it. It doesn't carry it enough for me to be that invested in spending $15 to see it in theaters. Yeah. Honestly, I could really care. Like the story and the characters have no depth. It's very cut and dry film, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like there's no depth to it whatsoever. So, watch it on Netflix at home, and honestly, I think you'd be good.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna show up there, man.
Probably.
John Wick's already there, ain't it?
I don't think so, because John Wick is a good film.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, no, you pretty much covered all the major points I want to. Where yes, it looks visually really great. There's a whole lot of, for some reason, ice baths. You know, they make a big deal out of those ice.
Also, I really hate the stupid spray paint.
Yeah,
that was annoying after a while.
It was very Suicide Squad-y.
It was
at some points where they're
You're in London now.
Accidental colors. I know. And of course, they with the totally not on the nose, the Clash song in London Calling, in London Calling, and no, okay, so I did enjoy the soundtrack. I'm really into all of that 80s shit, so that was doing it for me. I did like, for the most part, the action scenes. There was very few that I was like, okay, that didn't work for me. Mm-hmm. But if we're talking about major, not like just overall in all of the action scenes, talking major action scenes that are more than 3 minutes, they're just like 3 of them.
Yeah, to be honest, yeah.
That's it.
The other ones go by so fast.
Like
you can't
the entire 2-hour movie.
call them action sequences, really. It's just action shot.
Exactly, basically. So yeah, for those few good things that keep me afloat, but dude, that second act is just it's long. It's just the stretch marks of like an old lady in like a strip club on a Tuesday night, man. You see those stretch marks from a mile away, and I nodded off for a few times. You can tell that I'm having trouble remembering what happened in the middle of the movie. Because I was just like, oh my god. It's none of the stuff that happens in the middle is truly interesting.
Or has any effect to the rest of the film.
Exactly. The first act is only interesting because they're establishing everything. Everything is mysterious and new, so it's exciting in that. But then only until like the last half hour of the movie do you really get the really good action scene, and that's when things start to pick up, and you get a tiny bit more attached to the characters.
Picks up, but then drops off.
Oh yeah,
a cliff.
Exactly.
Really quick.
So yeah, I mean, with that, and I can tell you right now, other than John Goodman, no one here tried. I mean, maybe Charlize Theron tried, but she was not well directed. I can tell you that much. So Yeah, I'm gonna give this an I didn't throw up.
Ooh.
Dude, it made me fall asleep. It means it's not something. Sure, if you're like a huge fan or you just want to spend the night, sure, watch it on Netflix, like Zach said. But I mean, you're honestly fine skipping out on this. There's much better action scenes in John Wick than or in general.
In general, yeah.
There's a lot more better action movies out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna give you this, and I didn't throw up. It's only those two action scenes that really saved it for me, and the soundtrack, which even though I did like at times, did feel too on the nose and very forced. Especially the end with Under Pressure. It's just like, whoa, that was a huge fucking turn, but okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an I didn't throw up for me.
That's fair. Yeah. And there's not even anything to like spoil.
No, there's not.
With this film, like, there's no like surprise or like
It's just your typical spy thriller kind of twists.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you're a double agent.
Yeah.
I could have told you that when I first met the fucker.
I know. So, anything else you would like to atomically finish off? Thank you all so much for listening. Damn, this is a depressing ass review, man. I was looking forward to this. I really was. So yes,
sorry people.
Please check us all out on Facebook, SoundCloud, Stitcher, iTunes. Website is coming. We're definitely going to be working and kind of shifting things around with Rehash Friday, so we'll keep you up to date on how that's working. And what's coming up next week?
We'll see. I think it's The Kingsman, I think.
Maybe.
I'm probably wrong. But I think that one's next weekend, so definitely look out for that. And definitely check back in on Trailer Tuesday. We'll see what gets released. Yeah. Really exciting, fun.
Absolutely. No, there's a lot of good trailers out there.
There is.
Lately.
Like Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah. Oh, man. Damn, dude, that movie made me sleepy, man. Not to mention that I had like really bad itis from like that like waffle and like breakfast meal I had earlier. So
knocked out.
I know.
If you want to go to sleep, watch this film.
Yeah,
there you
exactly. You bring your grandma. She'll not even. She's not going to be making a big deal out of all the blood and violence because she's not going to be awake.
Blood, violence, and titties.
Yeah, lots of blood, violence, and titties, and even then it's boring.
Right.
So,
all right. Yeah. Until next time, guys. Thanks.
Later.